What is going on, y'all? Podcast episode 94, baby. Hope everyone's doing well. It is Tuesday, July 22nd, I think. Can't remember the exact date, but it's all good, baby. Summertime is in full effect. It's pretty warm outside. And yeah, man, we're just out here vibing. Just got off work, on my way to pick up the baby. And yeah, man, can't believe we're more than halfway done with July at this point. It's basically time is just flying, man. It's crazy. I feel like we have this conversation almost every episode. But it is the absolute truth. Sorry, I'm trying to fumble around with this damn mic's camera stand tripod thing. I hope everyone's doing well. Got a new song dropping next Friday off the new album. I will just go ahead and say it. The new album is going to be called Cruize. And if you know me, you know that that's kind of been like my alias or just my other nickname. It was always, because that's my Instagram tag. So it's similar to like Invader Zim, Crusader Tim, same thing. But yeah, man, you know, that's going to be the album title, Crusader. And yeah, I'm definitely excited for it, man. I've been itching to drop a project for quite some time. You know, since Spade and I dropped our project earlier this year. And then, of course, the Continuance album that dropped last year. So, just been itching, man. Itching to drop some new music. I got a new song out now. It's called Locked In. If you haven't heard it, go check it out. New song dropping next Friday, Buck Hunter. And I got another song dropping in August called Pressed But I'm Blessed. So, I'm just out here dropping, baby. Just out here dropping. Man, I will say I'm real kind of sick and tired of social media. I'm tired of having to constantly promote bullshit just to get my music heard or just to get like new eyes on my music. You know, it's definitely not something I feel like I signed up for, but it's something that has to be done. I wish I had a team of people behind me to kind of help do the promo side of things, but I don't. And yeah, man, you know, it definitely leaves all the promo up to me, which is tough, man, because you know, some of that creative energy could go into making new music. But you know, I get kind of stuck creating promo and creating, you know, just the art behind each thing, each song, each promo, each Instagram. So it is a little tough, but you know, we got to do it. We got to do it. And if we're not going to do it, then it's not going to get done. And I'd rather just knock it out. Even though it's not something I like to do or I enjoy doing, it is something that has to be done. So, I can't remember exactly the context of it, but I do remember like Dana White, the head of the UFC, talking about... Sorry, dropped my damn tripod again. But he was talking about how, there's aspects of his business that he doesn't like to do, but tough shit. He has to do it because nobody else is going to do it for him. And those moves are what's going to create the money long term. So, same concept. There's always going to be shit that we don't enjoy doing, but you got to get it done anyway. And there's no excuses to not get it done. So, it's just the way I'm looking at it. One thing that I also heard recently is content creators are there to make you think that they look cool, but artists should be using social media to tell the story, to tell your story, to kind of gain a community around their story. So that's definitely my approach with this new album. How can I tell the story behind Crusader? That's always been, like I said, always been my nickname, or one of my nicknames. So what is the story behind that? So then I break it down and I kind of think about I always, what is the story behind most of the songs that I put out? It's this story of freedom, this story of expressing myself and having the freedom to do so. This story of freeing myself up from all different forms of barriers and chains and slavery. So, if that's the story I want to tell, how can I create content that is going to do that? Is going to create that story? And not to try to sell people on who I am, but so that I can form a community around my music. So that's kind of been on my mind recently. If you follow my Instagram, you could kind of see that I have a bit of a pattern when I post. It's typically 3 posts that kind of coincide with each other. And then if you look at my overall profile, you can kind of see these patterns. You can see this design of just kind of keeping things together, keeping it close-knit, close, tight. I used to post, almost every day, all these different stories of my life and events that we went to, and almost like a normal person would post on Instagram. But I had to cut that back because I felt like it was kind of steering away from my music, And if I wanted people to take my music serious, they needed to see more music-related posts. But that can't stop me from telling my story, I just have to do it in other ways that are going to portray the story in effective ways as well, So we have to tell our story, and how we do so will determine if people are interested in it or not. If I'm constantly just posting new song out now, new song out now, new song out now, but never telling the backstory behind the music, I think that can get a little stale, and then people are just like, alright, cool, this man just releases songs, and that's it. But I want to be known for the story that I tell and that my music tells. not just trying to look cool, like, hey, look at me in my post, in my music, look at me, I rap well, whatever. I want to be known for the story that I'm telling. So, yeah, man, that's kind of the approach that I'm taking. And I hope that you can really kind of hear the story that I'm trying to tell, not only in my music and the releases that I'm putting out, but also the post that I'm making as well. So, yeah, man. I feel like recently I've just been so scatterbrained, and I don't know why. Just feel like my mind is like running 1,000 miles per hour, but it's not really coming to a complete thought. And it's real distracting, man. And, it's just something that I'm trying to work through right now. But, I've said this before in previous episodes. Not every day is going to feel like $1,000,000, but we got to at least keep grinding, keep pushing forward. We can't, we can't stop living just because we're having a rough day. We still have to tell our story. We still have to get it out there. And I think that actually tells a bigger story, because if people only saw us on our good days and never our bad days, they wouldn't really know the full person of who we are, So it is important to tell our story on good and bad days. So yeah, man. That's where I'm at. I'm going to keep this episode kind of light, kind of short. Episode 94. Like I said, new song dropping next week. Hopefully I'll have another podcast episode out by then. But new album coming soon. New song locked in, out right now. And yeah, man. Tell your story. That's all you can do. That's what our purpose is here on Earth, is to tell our story and hopefully connect with our fellow men. So tell your story and just keep creating, baby. So much love. We'll talk soon. Have a good night. Peace.